Squirtle plays primarily on a bait and punish playstyle, but what does it really mean to play bait and punish? Well, let me explain his neutral. He's not supposed to try hitting the opponent as hard as he wants to try being very hard to hit, and attempt to punish opponents more than anything. This means understanding the burst range between you and the opponent, which is roughly here, and playing around with good jumps, dashes, and shield dashes. Being on point with dash away into whiff punishes and anti-airs is super important. A shield dash is done correctly by dashing forward and shielding while the control stick is still held forward. Do not release the control stick until you've shielded first. Shield dashing is good for running from burst range into mid-range, where Squirtle can now be an immediate threat with his amazing speed. Keep in mind that the mid-range is still where most grabs are out of range. Once you are in position, you could use a quick aerial out of shield to react to short hops or unshield and tilt to pressure the shield safely into either a dash grab or aerial mix-up. You could also shield dash from burst range to close range, or from mid-range to close range, where you now could react with a grab against their shield, punish them for hitting your shield badly, or mix up with different jumps and aerials. You might question why the opponent would be shielding to begin with, and it's pretty much because of Squirtle's dash speed with his quick tilts and aerials. The aerials, when pressed immediately with a short hop, won't just hit all grounded opponents but also short hops. And most of the time, if you're dashing at the opponent and looking to use an aerial, then back air will be favorable, as it'll be the hardest aerial to deal with and will also have the highest hit rate because of the multi-hit beating spot dodges. The back air can also be crossed up and fast fallen, which can be very hard to punish because of how small Squirtle is. You'll also be able to deal with opponents attempting to dash away from your burst range by running at them and using a pivot forward tilt. So, in other words, you could also, in theory, just play Squirtle as a rushdown and just dash at the opponent and call them out on shielding, spot dodging, jumping, dashing away, and so on. But it'll be pretty risky, and so most of the time you'll play a bait and punish playstyle. On occasion, Squirtle will also short hop to try landing his aerials low against shield to pressure opponents. Land low just in front of their grab range, and you could either jab or tilt first to interrupt them, spot dodge into a hard punish, or shield into a potential punish. Crossing up the opponent is even more ideal, as shielding means that the opponent can no longer immediately punish nor try to grab you. And if they unshield to try turning around and grabbing you, you could quickly react with an aerial. Landing the aerial low and crossing up the opponent will also allow you to tilt immediately, as well as dash away into whiff punishes as well. Parrying is exceptionally good with Squirtle since he's so small, so the timing of landing aerials can be a bit easier to figure out.